Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk further about the Mahadasha and Bhukti ruling planet and how you can better predict and see the trends of the future using this incredible Dasha system. Now, the Dashas, let me refresh your memory, are based on where your natal moon resides in your natal birth chart. So when you look at what nakshatra your moon is in and realize what planet rules that nakshatra, that is the beginning of your entire cycle of dashas on planet Earth. So realize that all the 27 nakshatras are ruled by a planet. And whatever nakshatra you're born into, let's say you're born with your moon in the nakshatra Bharani. Well, Bharani is ruled by Venus. That means that begins your entire dasha sequence, and there is a sequential order of the planetary cycles that will always be in order. So what you're going to find is after Venus's Mahadasha comes the sun, after the sun comes the moon, after moon comes Mars. So it always follows in the sequential order. But depending on which one you begin with, begins a cycle. Now, traditionally, the way that a dasha and subcycle, which I call the Bhukti process, is in accordance to how they are placed in your birth chart. What house are they in? What house do they rule? So the house that they're in is the house that they are the tenant of. So they influence that house, whatever that house means, whatever meanings are associated with that house are what are going to surface during this Mahadasha cycle. But the Mahadashas are very large, very long, and the subcycles are really the focus of what you're experiencing at the time. But your Bhukti planet, depending on how many houses it is from the Mahadasha grand cycle planet, is going to give you a sense of what you're experiencing, regardless of what house they're even situated in or rule, even though that is important, don't get me wrong. But I want you to start getting into the trend or the way of thinking that the Mahadasha ruling planet is the new ascendant. And just count to where the Bhukti ruling planet resides from the Mahadasha ruling planet as the new ascendant or lagna. Okay, so I wanted to use a chart that's very simple that can definitely give you a sense of what I'm trying to teach here, to look at the dasha and the Bhukti. So remember, the Bhukti is just the second level down, the subcycle, the first subcycle. And you can take this all the way down to about 7 levels. I want you to focus in on what's important. And it's the Mahadasha ruling planet and the subcycle, the Bhukti. You can get so much information just from this. Yes, you can see more by looking at other the next level down, but let's make it simple. And I get that the Bhukti is where your experience really is. So let's pull up a chart that's going to make a lot of sense to you explaining this principle. And the principle that I want you to notice is that when somebody has a lot of planets in opposition, it's going to be about relationships, especially when they go into the Mahadasha and the Bhukti of 2 planets that are in opposite houses. When we count from one to the other, there'll be 7 houses from each other. What is the 7th house? It represents relationships, marriage, commitment, partnership. That is the 7th placement. So whenever you do see a chart that has a lot of oppositions, you're going to know that they have a lot of relationship issues going in and out. Now, let me just say, this is very simplistic. It usually works most of the time, but here we go. when you see a planet that is opposite the Bhukti, that is opposite the Mahadasha ruling planet, and it is a natural malefic, it can deal with divorce and separation. But if that person goes into a Bhukti ruling planet that's opposite the Mahadasha ruling planet, and it's a natural benefic, then guess what? This could be the time they meet and get married. So the natural benefics are going to be Jupiter, Mercury, and Venus. The natural malefics are Mars, Saturn, Sun. Realize the Sun is a natural malefic, as well as Rahu and Ketu. So actually there's a lot more natural malefics than benefics, but trust me, this works. So let's pull up the chart of Brad Pitt. This is going to give you the information that you're looking at Brad Pitt's chart. So pulling up Brad Pitt's chart, notice that he has got so many planets in what? Sagittarius. By the way, you know, over the course of the past few years, 2.5 years, I believe, was the start of his divorce. Yeah. So what I'm actually saying about that is not the Mahadasha and the Bhukti, but I'm just thinking, looking at his chart, thinking, oh my goodness, all those planets in Sagittarius. And guess where Saturn Ketu were for quite a long time, particularly Saturn coming up to his moon. Guess what? Sati Sati. Sati Sati has a lot of issues around divorce and relationships. I've pointed that out in a number of charts with what I'm teaching here. So going to Brad Pitt's chart, realize and notice his Rahu. Yes, his Rahu up there in Gemini. In what? The 8th house. Rahu is in the 8th house, but the entire time that he was in Rahu's Mahadasha, notice all the planets that go to the opposite 7th house from where Rahu is. Remember, we're always counting clockwise in these South Indian style charts in forward direction. But, you know, just going opposite, you can see what is, you know, the opposing house, Gemini, Sagittarius. So as he went in and out of the Bhuktis, when he was in Rahu's Mahadasha, the Bhuktis that went 7th from his Rahu, guess what? He went in and out of relationships. Very interesting. It was around 1996 that he was engaged to Gwyneth Paltrow. And then go to the year of 1996. What Dasha was he in? It was actually Rahu Ketu. Now that's very interesting because Rahu Ketu always has ups and downs in relationships. Why? If you're in Rahu's Mahadasha, Ketu's Bhukti, they're always 7th from each other and they're malefic. So Rahu with Ketu's Bhukti or Ketu with Rahu's Bhukti will have major ups and downs in relationships. So then going to June of 1997, this relationship ended. So if you'll look there, well, he fell in love with one and another. So he went from, it ended, and he started a new relationship in 1997 with, well, first he met Jennifer Aniston. So, you know, I was probably in one relationship meeting up with another. So there was beginnings and there was endings and there were beginnings again. But he was married to Jennifer Aniston and then he divorced in the year 2000. He split because guess what? He met Angelina Jolie on a set. So looking at this, it split. And so going to the year 2000, he was in Rahu's Sun. Notice the sun is opposite Rahu, and it is a malefic, but it was an ending and it was a beginning. Just like the Rahu Venus brought in relationship, but it brought in a new relationship, but it ended and he started another relationship. And just to give you a little further information, he started his Jupiter Mahadasha, the grand cycle, and when you start a grand cycle, the sub-cycle is the same. So when you enter a cycle, whether it's Rahu, it's going to be Rahu, Rahu, but he entered Jupiter, which began the first few years being Jupiter, Jupiter. And guess what Jupiter rules? What is it Karaka of? Children. Right after he entered into Jupiter's Mahadasha, which was what, the year of 2003 to 2005 and onward, he had children. One childbirth after another. His first daughter was born in 2006. So my point is that was the onset of his having children, and you will find this in most people's charts. When they're around the childbearing years and they enter into Jupiter's Mahadasha, that's when the process of having children or rearing or taking care of children will begin or go on for what? 16 years. So somewhere within that Jupiter cycle, usually that's when children come. But I just wanted to show you a little example, a little taste of what you can do with the Mahadasha and the Bhukti ruling planet, always going to the Mahadasha ruling planet as the new ascendant and counting to where the Bhukti is. And when you find that they go into opposition 7 houses away from each other, you're going to find that relationships begin and end, or end and begin. So it all depends if it's malefic, benefic, but in this case, where there were so many planets opposing Rahu, and he was in his Rahu Mahadasha, it was steeped all full of what? Relationships. So I want you to use this little tool, and you will love it, because everyone wants to know when they're going to meet someone, when they're going to fall in love, and possibly when relationships end. But you can always see when they begin through using this technique. So with that, I'd like to close. If you would like more information on me, or you would like a consultation, you can go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. But if you would like to take this learning further to truly understand and be able to use Vedic astrology, check out my university website, which is University of Vedic Astrology.com. Thank you.